Hi guys, this is Chip from Chip and Gardens Adventures and from also Mystery Angels. So everyone's been going on, why a timeline? Why is a timeline important? So we're going to check it out now, right? Before I do a live. So you've got between 8 a.m. and 6:30 p.m. is when Summer went missing. Sometime in that time, according to Don and Candies, she was kidnapped. By the way, if there's any spelling wrongs or anything, it was my neighbour that did this. She has autism as well, but she can write and read. I can't. And for those who say you're spelling wrong and stuff, I'm sorry, I have to use Google when I answer yours, unless my care workers answer. So sometimes Google says things I haven't even said, so I apologise for that. But I am autistic and I have got learning difficulties. I'm word and number blind, and I'm not going to apologise for my struggles. Okay, so everyone else, welcome. All our new subscribers, welcome. All our old subscribers, thank you for still being here. So this is the timeline, right? From 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. when they phone the police. Sometime in that time, according to Candice and Don, they say kidnapping, right? So from 6:30 p.m. till we don't know when did Grandma get the phone call to go down to her sister's to help her with her sister's husband's heart attack? What time did she leave? And was the truck searched just before she left? Or did she just go? They're important, and I'll explain why. So, according to Candice, her mother, or Candice, according to her mother, according to Candice, her mother weren't going to go until August or September. That was her plan, to go and then be back for Christmas, right? So it's a bit of a coincidence that Summer goes missing and then all of a sudden she gets a phone call saying, I need your help up here, and she leaves a month or two early. Right? Now, guys, I think there's going to be an arrest very soon. I really do believe there's something big's happening, because the spirits are changing. I just want to say as well, for all those guys out there who, the religious guys and that, and those people that are jealous and saying, oh, we need to, the mediums, this, that. Guys, remember 3 things. If you are a medium and you're attacking another medium, you ain't going to be looked upon very nicely in the spirit world at all. Number 2, she's been chosen for a reason. An innocent child has gone missing. So the spirit world is going to step in and send somebody, especially when it's one of their own that they've sent down to help humanity, and unfortunately she didn't make it. Okay? So leave her alone. Stop picking on her. Stop being bullies. Stop trying to make money off this poor little girl's life and death. And start booking up and supporting your fellow mediums instead of slagging them off. And to be honest with you, if you're getting money, £50 for tarot card readings and all this, if you're doing that, then I don't know who you think you are, but you ain't a medium. I can tell you that for nothing now. If you're trying to make money or your fame with this child's death and you're doing it to make money, that's going to be your downfall. It's going to be your biggest mistake. I wouldn't. I'm just warning you now. Careful of what you do with mediums. Careful what you say. Because I get it religiously and stuff. Some mediums, just like priests, just like police, just like nurses, doctors, just like human beings in general, they can be good, they can be bad in anything they do. Okay? But she's not here to prove to you whether there's a spirit world or not, whether it's real or not, whether mediums are real or not. She's not here to prove that to anybody else. She's here to find summer. So you lot having a go at her is not helping at all. It's just stressing her out and putting bad vibes into the atmosphere that she has to fight through. Stop judging people and let them get on with what they need to do. You get on with what you need to do and let them get on with what they need to do. And saying she's not real, she's doing this for money, she's getting paid. No. It's nothing to do with you. If you don't want to support the medium, then don't. Just keep your mouth shut. But whether she gets paid or not, it's nothing to do with you. The goal's the same thing for everybody in this world that is doing this, for the children, for the missing people, for the people who are being possessed, for the families that are being attacked and stuff like that. So if you're not here to do that, and you're here to just make money in that, bugger off. It's not going to work. Leave her alone. Let her get on with her thing she needs to do. If you are a tarot card reader and you don't believe mediums, then just shut up. Go away. But it's pathetic. You're sitting there. If you say you're a medium, how pathetic are you to actually attack another medium when you know full well if you're truly someone that speaks to the spirit world, you should know as much as anybody that this is goddamn hard work. It drains you, it exhausts you. She doesn't need to be battling you lot on top of everything else. So stop being pathetic little pricks and get on with your lives and leave her alone. Leave all people alone. If you don't like Candice or Dom or anyone, and you just don't like them because the way they look or because the way they dress, then piss off. Stop watching them. I can understand it if you don't like the way they behave as parents, then yeah, give them hell for being crap parents. Give them hell from being shitheads. But if they choose to live their life in squalor, then it's not up to you. Give them hell and say, yeah, all right, fair enough. You choose to live like that, but your kids shouldn't have to live like that. Have a go at them for that. Have a go at them for being pathetic parents. Not by the way they look or the tattoo, you don't like their tattoo or, no. It's worse than that, They're really shit parents for a start. They've done so much wrong to the world. They've hurt and harmed so many people throughout their lives. They're pretending to be victims again and again and again. There's so much for you to pick on. Why pick on the bullshit? You're pathetic. Seriously. Get on with your lives and let Juanita find out and let her get on with her life. And hopefully, at the end of it, either your lot, the way you do things, or the way she does things, we find somewhere. Because that's the whole point. Or is it for you? I don't know. But if you're here to find somewhere, or you're here to help, or you're here to understand things and stuff, then great, brilliant. If you say you're a medium and you want to do stuff, then you go on your own path. She's been chosen to go on her own path. Nobody will go with her. She will be told, if the spirit world, guys, if the spirit world wants Juanita to have somebody by her side, they'll send her that person. She'll know, because she'll have the name mentioned. It'll be in a dream or something. She will see the person that's meant to be there with her to help her. If she doesn't, then she stands alone. But begging her and pleading with her, can I join this case with you? Do your own case. Do your own stuff. Follow your own path. That's your path to follow, not hers. Stop asking her, can you join her? Can you join her? It's not doesn't work that way. And if you're a medium, you should know that. If you have anything to do with the spirit world, you should know that it doesn't work that way. If it's your destiny to help with this case, then what you're doing right now will help. If your destiny is to stand by Juanita and help her with what she's doing, she will be notified by your name, what you look like, and even before she's even met you. But I think she's got the people she's meant to have to help her already helping her. Sorry, guys. Anyway, for my subscribers and that, I'm sorry about that. But I'm just sick and tired of seeing loads of people bitching about Juanita and saying, I want to help. I want to be part of it. I want to find I could do this. I just prefer them to start their own channel and start their own path because, you know. Anyway, guys, so what I've done is, if you haven't switched me off by now, I'm sorry, I do rant a lot. Right. So the reason why it's important is because the timeline from when they got up, when Candy's mum and all the kids and that got up and done, when did they decide to go to the hospital? Was it an appointment, or what? She said it was dropped in. We call it A&E, don't we? I don't. ER. Right. So when was it agreed for her to go? Was it she woke up in the morning? What time in the morning did Grandma wake up and couldn't move a leg, or was she in pain with a leg? These are the important bits that Candice hasn't said. Because if I was interviewing Candice, I'd go, right, Candice, what time did you and your mum agree for your mum to go to the ER? Why did you go to the ER instead of calling the doctor? What did your mum tell you, and what time, and how did it come about where she needed to go to the... And people say, well, that's not important. Yes, it is. And I'll tell you why. Because from 8 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. is not much time. Right? So we've got to find out. This was definitely, if it was a kidnapping, it was definitely a planned one. There's no way, 1,000%, that you couldn't plan this kidnapping. If you were going to kidnap anyone, you'd have to plan it. And it had to be done days, and you'd have to know about the area, the people, the family, because it's not done like everyday things. Hold on a minute, guys. So about that, guys. Kids with the ball. Right. So as I was saying, right, so there's no way it could have been an opportunist. Now, everyone's saying, well, what about the people that were cutting? They were there for a week, right? So, okay, so let's just look at them for a moment, right? So there's builders, there's electrician guys coming because the lines have been, the electric lines and that have got trees on them. So you have the tree surgeons there. On top of that, you have the workers and stuff like that, and they've been working there for a week. So did Candice talk to them? Did she offer them a cup of tea? Did she ask them to come into her house? Did she invite them onto her property? Because the only way they would know, there's only two ways out of that property. The only way they knew that downstairs was different than upstairs would be if they knew the layout. Now, I was looking at who put the electric cables and the lights, because they're connected professionally. Although they're dangerous looking, the sockets aren't covered, the light fitting is hanging off the ceilings and stuff like that, and they've drilled holes through. Was that done by Don, or did they call someone in? They're the questions that the police should and could be asking. Same as Chris on the interview room. He should have asked, who put all these cables in? Who put all these electrics in? Because if they called an electrician to do that, then I would want to interview the electrician, because the electrician would know whose bedroom was what, where, when, how. Right? So it couldn't have been a stranger. So that's out. So now you've got paedophiles and perverts in that area. So when was the last time one of them, the police would know when the last time one of them had committed a crime. They would also know what kind of crime they committed, because paedophiles and child molesters and that have different grades, if you like, from the serious ones to the serial ones that kidnap, kill, rape, or you've got ones that are like done it in their families, and you know, just sick just talking about this, but you get what I'm saying. So the police would have looked at that. Are they opportunists? Are they part of the church? Did the deacon or... Oh, I found out what a preacher was, by the way. Did the deacon, the preacher, or the vicar, or whoever was part of that church, did he know that there was paedophiles in his area? Did he know that they could have been part of his church? Are they part of this church? But again, if they were, Don and Candice's mum would have had to invite them up. And they would have had to get to know them, get to know who they are as people, get to know the area, get to know the dogs, get to know the bears, get to know all that lot. Now, they've been searching 13, 14 days, right? And they only come across a bear once. 2 people 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 come acro So, you know, that's good odds. 13 days and only come across a bear once. And again, they didn't say whether the bear ran or did it try and attack or did it, you know, they only give you half the story. And this is why people are frustrated. So this kidnapping, we're going to see if this kidnapping actually does work. Okay. So, like I said, if they went out at 8 a.m., they've left them boys who are 12, 11 and 9 on their own. Now, Candice said she left them to clean. Now, everybody knows now that it's a fact that CPS was coming down that day. So they probably wait until Don gets home and then they were going to come down and ask them to clean their act up. So it can be believable that Candice said, I left the boys home to clean. She would have took Summer with her because Summer and the boys fight. So Summer could have had a go at them. And even her dad said she picks up a stick and batters them. So if the three boys get pissed off with her, they could actually batter her. So that's why I think Candice took her with her, right? And you shouldn't leave a 12-year-old boy in charge of a 5-year-old child anyway, right? So, no matter who you are. So, 6:30 p.m. was when she called the police. So, in that time, Summer disappeared. So now the police have got to go, what time? So we've got to figure out what time did everybody come on Candice's property? So that's a big question. What time, a big question mark, did everybody, when Candice called the police, what time, because everyone was there by the time the police got up, and even Don said by the time he come, the police still wasn't there, which was wrong, to be fair, because, like I said, if she was kidnapped and she was shouting and screaming, she wouldn't have been heard. If she was attacked by an animal like a bear or something, she wouldn't be heard because everyone would be calling her name. So the police had to be there to seal off the area immediately and stop people walking around, right? Also, we have the canoe. The canoe was down all that time for days. And then when Chris did the interview, it was up and upright. So almost like the elements could get inside and wipe any evidence off. Because you never put a canoe facing, like the inside facing out. Because it could be like cracked or that if the wind goes. So you always turn it upside down so the wind don't pick it up. Because the canoe's light, right? So for some unknown reason, that canoe was constantly there. And even in the aerial, from the first moment that they took them aerial photographs, the helicopter and that, as soon as they were looking, the canoe was down. And nothing else was moved, just the canoe. So why? Why all the time was that canoe there? Now, the canoe, like I said, if Summer is right and said, Mummy got angry with me, Summer ran out and went to run off into the woods, she could have whacked that canoe and that canoe could have come down on her like a ton of bricks. So now there's an accident, right? But let's stick to in this video, we're going to stick to their theory of kidnapping, okay? So we're going to stick to Don and Candy's theory of kidnapping at the minute in this video. So let's look at the timeline, right? So on the timeline, we had them at we call it A&E, ER, R-E-E-R, right? So ER, right? Grandmother and Candice and the baby Summer was at ER, and they were outside waiting. Then at some point, Candice supposed to call Hunter, or Hunter was supposed to call Candice. So let's put Candice as an anchor. Right, so we'll do that because I can't write. We'll do that as Candice and a circle for Hunter, okay? Well, let's do an X for Candice, right? So we can do an X for Candice. Oh, I hate this. Right. X for Candice and Hunter a circle. Okay? So now we've got... What should we do the grandma? Let's do a boot. There you go. A boot. Okay. So we're doing grandma a boot. There we go. So grandma's the boot. H is the circle. And Candice is the X. Summer's the heart. Okay? So Summer's sitting in the back. Candice phones Hunter, or Hunter phones Candice. So let's have a look at that at first and see if we can work this out. Right. Hunter said that they're only 5 minutes away from the hospital. Candice phoned him and said grandma's in hospital. That's what he says. But Candice said Hunter texted her and said, "What you doing?" And Candice said that she told Hunter, "I'm with grandma at the hospital." And he said, "Do you guys want to come and wait here?" And then Candice was supposed to say, "Well, ask Ali." But we know, don't we, that Hunter's been going to Candice's house a lot more than what he's told his mum through the arguments. So let's just keep it to that. Let's just keep Hunter's story and Candice's story, right? So Candice then goes to Hunter's house. They say between 10:30. So if that's 8, say 9, 10, 10:30 will be about here. So all that's gone is Hunter, Candice, and baby Summer, right? 10 to 10:30. So then they said they were going to go to a water park or fishing. They can't make up their minds which one. Let's just say the fishing part or water park, whatever, it doesn't matter really. They got into the car. Then while they were on the way, so at this time now, it would be about... Hold on a minute. If they said that, Hunter said she phoned to say go fishing, then why did she bring a swimsuit? And why did she ask Hunter if she could go in and change the swimming suit in Hunter's place and Ali's place if they were going fishing? So Hunter already knew they weren't going fishing. He must have. Hunter must have already knew, because why else would Ali have a swimming costume? Ali be asked to, can Candice change Summer? And how did they change him back if it's in the car? Why change her in the house going, but then have to change her in the car coming back? And he still didn't mention if they had a towel or not. Because that's what you'd normally do, wouldn't you? Get a big towel around the babies and then sort of like strip them underneath the towel and dry them and then put their new clothes on. That's what we used to do with our kids if they're out in public. So that's a big question marks there, isn't it? Is the towel. Right? So this is what I'm saying, because if Candice was going to go fishing and that, then A, they wouldn't have a swimming costume, and B, they wouldn't have had a towel. So she would have asked Hunter for a towel. So I would say that would have took about an hour and a half. Say about 11:30. Then Grandma called and said she was done. So 8, 9, 10, 11. So about 4.5 hours it took Grandma to get herself sorted and painkillers. That's pretty good, because in this country you have to wait ages for your medications. Then they went to get Grandma's prescription. So they went to pick up Grandma. So we say we're about here. So it's about, 5 to 25 minutes to pick up Grandma, right? So already we're looking about 12:30. So say they picked up Grandma about, they went to theirs at 10:30. So 11:30. Say they picked up Grandma at 11:30. Now we need to find out how long it is from the ER to where she put a prescription in. We need to know how long that was. So that's the question mark, okay? So that's a question mark, because you look at it from there. So the police would know, because they would know what time they put the prescription in, because they would have it on the camera, and 2, they would know the time in it. So then they said they were at the waterhole, but Candy said she was only there for 20 minutes. So say what we've worked out is 8, 9, 10, 10:30, Candy's turned up at Hunter's. Say about 11:15, they got in the car and Grandma called. 12 o'clock, because it's about 20, 25 minutes. So say they picked up Grandma at 12 o'clock. From the ER, how long it took them to get the prescription in. They went by car as well. So let's give them an hour to get the prescription and go and get a drink. Go get them a drink. Go get themselves a drink. Go and get the twisted tea. Plus go and get them a drink. And on top of that, what else was there? Go to that place. So let's give them an hour between putting the prescription in and getting the drinks and that. So by the time they get to the waterhole now, it's round about 1:30, we think. So let's just put a line and a dot, right? We think about 1:30. Then they said they spent about 25 minutes. So let's put that there. And so we've got Grandma, H, Candice, and Summer. Right? At the waterhole. They said it was about 20 minutes that they were there for. And before they got a call to say the prescription was done. So depending on how far the prescription area is, say about 5-10 minutes to get down there. This is just a guesstimate, okay? 10 minutes to get down there, 20 minutes to sit in a queue. So say that's another 30 minutes. Now it's going on for 2 o'clock. Now they're on the way back. Right? So now it's 2 o'clock, they're on the way back. They stop off at a shop to get some cheese and some milk. So that'll be Grandma, H, Candice, and the baby. Right? So Grandma and Candice goes into the shop. Again, H says it was about an hour. Candice says about 10-15 minutes. Right? But don't forget, we've got to know if the shop was busy. Again, the police should have proper times because they'll be able to look on the machine. They'll also be able to look at what time they spent the money. If she got it by a card, it'll be on the ticket machine and stuff, right? So let's give them... Let's do what Candy says and give her 15 minutes like she said. So then they've got to put the stuff into the car. Get in the car. Don't forget Grandma's got a pain in her knee. So she's going to find it difficult. She's just been walking around. She's been to the swimming hole, up and down the hill. She's just been up and down to get her medication. So she must be in really bad pain. So she'll be slowly walking around the shop, right? So 15 to 20 minutes sounds a bit far-fetched for someone who's got pain, but let's go with Candice. So Candice said it took him 15 minutes. H said it took him an hour. So let's go with Candice's 15 minutes. Right? So then they all get in the car and they all go down to H's. So now there's Grandma, H, Grandma, H, and Candice, and the baby Summer. Okay? So H got out the car. He said he jumped out the car, went in. His mum said, "Oh, where's Candice and that?" And he said, "Oh, they're outside." She went, "Oh, go and say hello to Summer." Got up, got out. So give her about, judging by the size of Alison as well. So let's say we give him about 20 minutes. Would you all agree? 15, 20 minutes to chat, to say, can I give Summer a cuddle? Her saying no, we've really got to get off, we've really got to go. So now Ali's seen them, she's gone in, they've left. So now that's all that's left is Grandma, Candice, and baby Summer. There's a reason why I'm calling the baby Summer, okay? She's the one with the heart, remember? Right? So I'm hoping I'm doing this good because, like I said, I am autistic and I have got learning difficulties. Hope you can understand that, okay? So we're now down to 4:45 overnight. So then she said that Summer fell asleep 10 minutes. Now, apparently, it's about 25 to 30 minutes from H's house to Candies. Apparently. A couple of miles away, right? So, when we were at Ali's and that, Ali said they were there for 3:30. So, for them to get to their house in that time, and apparently Summer fell asleep 20 minutes before they got home, although people are saying where the car was, it was actually between 20 and 30 minutes, right? But let's stick to Candice's say so, right? So at this time, they got in for about 4:30, right? So now we've got Candice and Grandma, Summer asleep, and now we've got the doggies and the cats. So let's put, there you go, an animal. So that's what you've got here at 4:30. So by this time, they must be starving, the kids and the animals as well. Because if they haven't eaten all day and they've been out since 8, I mean, you think about it, that's a long, long time for no food and water. And if the boys were locked in like she said they were, nobody fed the dogs or gave them water. So, weird. And the kittens, bloody hell, the kittens are supposed to be fed every 4 hours. Anyway, so at that time, it was getting on for 5 o'clock, right? So at 5 o'clock, she said that she called the boys to come out and help her. Hold on a minute. How can she call the boys to come out and help her with the shopping when there's only cheese and milk? Because that's all she said she got was cheese and milk. Why would she need the boys to come out for cheese and milk? And there was Grandma's shopping as well, weren't there? So she said she called the boys and that. She took all the shopping into her house, got Grandma shopping, took Grandma shopping over to Grandma's trailer, put everything away from her, and come back and then put her stuff away, right? So now there's only Grandma in her trailer, and now there's Candice, Summer, and what should we do the boys? Give them a football. There we go, a football, right? So the boys. So this would be going on now for 5:45. Then she said she had to put the stuff away. So she put the stuff away. Then she stepped outside to see her mum looking and staring at she called them flowers, but the plants. But she calls them plants 1 minute, then flowers the next. It's weird, right? So now it's 6:15. She calls Summer and says, Summer, do you want to come and help us? Me and Grandma do the garden and plant the plants. And she's gone, yeah, come jumping up. Again, apparently jumping up. But she said she was playing in the kitchen with her toys. And when Chris turned around and said, where was she playing them? And she goes, just right there on the floor with her toys in the kitchen, just right there. So she was at the front door. So how long do we think it would have took them to separate flowers and put them into different pots? What, half an hour? 20 minutes? What would you say? 20 minutes? Let's just put 20 minutes, right? So then that means they finish in 20 minutes. So now it's 6:20. right? No, hold on. It's 6:15. So say 6:25. Okay. So then Candice brings Summer back because Summer wants to go back in to play with the boys. So now there's boys and Summer in the house. Candice says to the boys, watch for your sister because I'm going to help Grandma with her leg, or Mum with her leg, a brace. Right? So in that time, the boys and Summer, they were watching YouTube. So it's gone from playing on the computer, playing the video games, to watching TV, to now watching YouTube. Okay? That's what they've said. So it's already 6:30 when Candice has already told them, but she phoned the police at 6:30. And then you've got to decide, where's the food? Where's the toilet breaks? Where's the drinks? Where's the food? Where she said she'd stopped to do some laundry. It doesn't fit. There's not enough time in the day to fit. Let alone a kidnapper, there's not enough time. Because according to Candice, when she phoned the police, Summer would have been playing with the boys. And she would have just left to go and get. So I have this suspicion that when the police figure out, right, what time Grandma was at, they arrived at A&E, ER for American. Yeah, sorry guys. ER for America, right? So ER, they'd have the time when she registered in and stuff, what time she saw the doctor, when she saw the doctor. Also, Candy's phone and H's phone will both have the time that they phoned each other, right? And then Candice would have the phone call from the grandmother to say come back, so they'll know what time she was at H's house for. Then when they pick Grandma up, they'll see how long it took from the ER to get the prescription, how long it took him in the car itself, and then how long, like, did they wait? Was there a queue? Stuff like that. Is that why they said it was going to take longer? Then, yeah, there's not enough time. They haven't even, I mean, Candice ain't skinny, and her grandmother isn't skinny, so there ain't no way they've missed a meal. So somewhere they've got to have eaten. Somewhere. And would they have eaten without letting the boys eat? Would they have got McDonald's or something and not fed the boys? Do you see what I'm saying? Now everyone's saying, well, maybe they were waiting until Don comes home. Yeah. But again, Candice and the mother ain't skinny. So they would be starving. There's no way they could have had breakfast if they left that early to rush Grandma because she was in pain. Why would you want to eat when you're in pain? You wouldn't. And the only thing Summer had was candy. The food, like the sweets. That's all Summer would have had all day, is the sweets and one drink. Which is that slushy stuff. Do you see what I mean? This is what the police would say. But the good thing is the police would have more of an idea of these here that we don't know yet, because and it won't fit. That's why I think they're going to have an arrest soon, because the timeline doesn't fit. Because then from there, from this bit, you've still got to have a kidnapping, a phone call to the police, people coming up to a phone call to the husband, people coming up to the property, then looking for Summer, and Summer going missing in this timeline. What I'd like you to do, guys, is you do your own drawing of the timeline and see if you can figure it out. Because you can read, some of you can read and write in that. The ones who can you look on Google Maps, look where especially if you live near there, could you see what time all them shops were, what the shops were called, what time they went in, stuff like that, to see the timeline. So it's apparently, according to everyone, they were at 8 a.m. She got Summer up at 8 a.m., she said. And 6:30. Now, I'm just assuming she was at A&E. Sorry. ER for 8 a.m. But she said she got Summer up at 8 a.m. So if that's the case, then that timeline's even shorter. So where did the kidnapping happen? Never mind minutes, it must have been like a whisper of a second. So if you guys could do that, put the timeline in, then let me know below if you can go on Google Maps and that and see if you can work how long the drives are between these two. Don't forget you got to put in place, like, they've got a drive in to the drive-through, wait, give the prescription, how long it took Grandma to get from there to call Candice, how long it took for them, and then how long it took them at the waterhole. Then they went for a drink. Then say the 15 minutes at Candy. Just do it on what Candy says first, and then do a timeline on what H says and see which one fits better. And then could you just let me know at the bottom, like in the comments below, because I'd be really interested in that. Because so far, with what Candy said in the interview, there's no room for a kidnapper. Like, as far as I can see, Summer was never alone. She didn't even have time to go down and play with her toys. Because the boys in there Candice at 6:30 had just said to her, to the boys, look after your sister while I go and do your brace. And she said that took 2 minutes. So that was 6:32, but she phoned the police at 6:30. So, one, where did the kidnapping come? 2, how did she phone them at 6:30 when someone was still there and she was still there doing her mum's brace? So that's what I'm saying. It doesn't fit. And I think once the police figure it out, because people who live there will know more about the area, about the timeline and that from each shop. So could you do that for me? Whoever lives near the area or can write, could you put a timeline like the shops and everything else down and put how long to get from one place to another to another to another? And then we can work out then from the how long she would have stayed at H's for before they went to the watering hole and stuff like that, because and how long they stayed there for, because Candice will go on what Candice says, 20 minutes, then we'll go on what H says, about an hour, right? Because you've got to go into the shops and that and do shopping. So when the police look at this, they're going to go, oh my God, that doesn't look right. So the timeline's wrong. So now we've got this phone call between 6:30 and we don't know when. That night, Grandma got a phone call to say that her sister's husband's in the hospital with a heart attack and he's having a pacemaker put in, and could she go down and help look after him on exactly the day the granddaughter went missing, that night. We know she left the next day. Apparently she left the 17th or 18th, right? She was interviewed and then left. So we don't know what time between 6:30 when Summer went missing to the 18th. We don't know what time. Now, so we need to know What time did she get the phone call? What time did she leave? And was the truck searched and DNA'd and checked? And was the tyres checked? Was the photographs taken of the car tyres and stuff? Or did they just let Grandma go? Because Grandma's got the tarpaulin that the baby was sitting on, according to Candice. And it's in her trailer, but her trailer's locked. And Candice said she didn't have the key. When Chris asked her, have you got the key? She went, no. She took it with her. Now, if you go on holiday, you always give your family the key. So when the day before you come back, they'll get you shopping in like milk, bread and eggs and that, innit? So why would she take the only key? Number two, you know the back door and the upstairs door got brand new locks on. Everywhere else looks old except for the locks. If you take a close look at the locking mechanism and the key, it's brand new. Brand spanking new. Take a check of that, guys. Let me know what you think. Right, so let's look at Hunter. So like we said, Hunter's timeline till 6:30 was, he said he went to his girlfriend's at 3 o'clock. But he couldn't have. Because at 3 o'clock, he'd just got a drink with Summer. So they would have had to get a phone call off his girlfriend or phone his girlfriend up and told them, I'm coming down to yours in a bit. But apparently Hunter's girlfriend his mum come and picked him up. Hunter's mum said that Hunter, his girlfriend and their mum come to pick Hunter up. So how did he get there for 3 o'clock? He wasn't there. It was going on for 6. But he said Candice called him at 6:30. But she couldn't have called him at 6:30. Because she called the police at 6:30. After calling Don. But then that means that she would have called Don about 6:25? Because she called the police at 6:30. That's what the dispatcher said, it's 6:30. So she said she called Don. Don said, call the police. So she dropped the phone and ran and grabbed her mum's phone. So, yeah, it would have took 5 minutes to get there to do that. So, how did H get a call at 6:30? You couldn't have. There's no way he could have got a call at the same time as she was calling the police. Could she have texted him? But no, she'd be still on the phone to the police. I suppose some people could do that. So you try that timeline from Hunter's. So what I'd like you to do, guys, if you can, if you've got time to, and you want to, you don't have to, I'm just saying, if anyone wants to try, and make the timelines from where they went on Candice's say-so, so Candice's interview and then H's interview, to see where the timelines don't mix. But both of them, the end timeline from when the police was called, that it doesn't hit, because he said she called him at 6:30 because he said it was 7 o'clock. Because his mum said it was 7 o'clock when she got the phone call because she was going for something to eat with the kids. She was getting a takeaway. So it couldn't have been half an hour from her phoning Hunter and Hunter phoning his mum. Take a check of that, guys. So what we need is Candy's version, Hunter's version, and then the mum's version of when Hunter went to his girlfriend's mum went to pick him up. So we definitely know that Summer and the brothers were home and with her mum and grandmother between 8 a.m. and 6:30. So where did the kidnapping happen? What we do know is Don was working. He was definitely working. He's got witnesses that he was working from 8 a.m. and then he got the call at 6:30 p.m. and he was home by 7. No, it couldn't have been. It must have been about 7:10 or something, because he said it took him 45 minutes to get home. It took Don 45 minutes to get home. And he said the police still wasn't there. So again, by the time Don got home, everyone was ready, shouting and looking for Summer up here. So if Summer had been kidnapped and she was kicking and screaming, people would have been shouting. If she would have been attacked by an animal, people would have been shouting on there. So they wouldn't have heard Summer. If Summer was locked up, unconscious somewhere, they wouldn't have noticed. Like in the grandma's trailer. If say Summer was in the grandma's trailer, no one would know she was in there if she was unconscious or passed away. Because they'd be too busy running around. Who would go in Grandma's trailer? They all go to Candy's house outside because they couldn't fit inside, because you've seen how small it is. So where's the toilet? So if this is Candice's house, right? Say this is the hill, right? This is Candy's house. Just let's say, probably looks better than theirs, but there you go. Then you've got like, just let's say, you've got Summer's swing. Right? There's the tree. Right? You've got the trees in the background. You've got the house. You've got the front here with the door, right? And then you've got the back here. Right? No, I've got that the other way around. This is the back, in it, and that's the front. Yeah, because there's Grandma's trailer, right? Let's put a little flowers in and all the crap. Right. So there's her trailer. So if people came onto the property, let's just say they brought their cars and come up, and then because they couldn't drive up, they would have had to walk up there. The dogs would have come out the woods. It's impossible, because if Summer had run out and got kidnapped or anything, the dogs would have been in the woods following. The dogs would have been in the woods following, guys. If it was a kidnap, we're doing a kidnapping scenario at the minute. If Summer was kidnapped and they took her somewhere, the dogs would have run with her. So they would have come out of nowhere when they were calling for Summer. They would have barked. Because they barked every time. And like I said, if you do it like that, someone would have had to been laying in wait. And the only place would be safe would be that canoe. Because Grandma was here, Candice was here. Someone come out here where the canoe is, run across, bang, could have knocked her down with the canoe. What worries me about this is why I think they're coming close to an arrest. And I'll tell you why. Because if it doesn't make sense what Candice is saying and what Hunter's saying, the evidence will be in the video footages and the phones, right? The tracking of the phones and that. But Grandma shouldn't have left for another month. And it happened to be the same time as a so-called brother-in-law had a pacemaker put in on the same day that Summer went missing and needed help, and then she left with her truck. So did the police search the truck? Did they put fingerprints on the truck? Did they take photographs of the tires? Did they check around for any blood stains or anything? Did they allow the dogs to smell the truck before she left? See, because everyone says, well, why would Candice lie? Candice and Candice's mum, Candice was very clear with the police saying that Candice and Candice's mum and her children were petrified of her husband. That he was going to kill him. Could you imagine if you killed his only daughter, the daughter that he fought for, that you wanted to give away and he fought for and really loved and cared for? And in your care, an accident happened. And also, the boys, here's the thing, guys. The boys have been taken, right, a couple of days now. And they've been going to court. So if the judge puts custody on temporary custody or temporary PR rights on social services or CPS, then that means it's up to CPS whether the boys could be talked to or not. Which of course they're going to allow, aren't they? Because Candice and Don would not allow them to be interviewed. So that's why the kids were taken off them. I reckon. I don't reckon they wanted to save them from that squalor. I reckon they wanted to take them off because Candice and Don both refused for the boy. Oh no, they've gone through enough. They don't need to go through anymore. I'm surprised the grandma didn't take the boys with her, to be fair. I mean, that would have been a sensible thing to do. Say to Candice and Don, listen, I'm going to take the boys up with me because, you know, you're going to be busy looking for Summer and it's going to be stressful and that lot. So I'll take the boys and go up. But she didn't. She just went up herself. That's what you do, innit, to your family. You come down and pick up the kids and say, look, you concentrate on finding Summer. We'll look after the boys for you. Getting ready for school and stuff like that. But no one's volunteered out their family to come down. Have you noticed that? No one in Candice or his family have turned up to look for Summer. Most families would have everyone down. Well, I don't know, I haven't got a family. But if you have a family, I think the family would come down and help, wouldn't they? And do what they can. Like, some would stay with you, others would take the boys, take your kids. Others would feed your animals because they know you'd be stressed out. Others would come down, do shopping for you and stuff. I think that's what families do, don't they? That's what I would do if one of my family members needed help, if I had a family. What do you think, guys? Well, I think I've burnt your ears off enough. So could you do that if you want? Do the timeline and that and have a look if the timeline fits. Because I think that's what's bugging everyone is the fact that Hunter and Candy's timelines don't match. Even the simple things like a phone call, him being at his girlfriend and a phone call, Candy's giving him a phone call saying that someone's missing. They've even got 2 different times on that as well. So I'll take the boys and go up. But she didn't. She just went up herself. But there's got to be a time lapse from where she was taken by the kidnapper. Regardless whether he was a stranger or not, or someone who was lying in wait, he couldn't get in if the boys and Candice were still there and they were still walking in and out of the trailer and the house. There's no way. They wouldn't even chance it. That would be 0.0. Draw it out, guys. Take a look at it and tell me what you think. Comment down below. So if you're new here, thanks for joining. If you've been here before, thank you so much for staying with me. I know I'm a pain in the butt, but I can't help it. I'm lovable though, aren't I? Look. See, I do my lovable face. And I hope all you guys stay safe, love each other, and leave. If you want summer found, if you're a good human being, regardless of what you feel, leave the medium alone and stop making her life more difficult than it has to be. She's got to see a small child on the other side. It's hard work. For all you that don't believe, then don't believe. It's your prerogative. But it's not your prerogative to push it and attack someone else. That's wrong. Say what you need to say and say it politely. Something like, let me help you out. I know I'm autistic and that, but let me help you out. Say, listen, I don't believe in what you do. I don't believe in the spirit world. So sod off. And then, boom, bye. Actually, don't even have to talk to her. Just leave her alone. Let her get on with it. She doesn't need your crap on top of everything else. You want summer found, don't you? You want the person prosecuted for hurting a child, don't you? So I tell you what, I'm going to put this out now. Anyone who keeps attacking the mediums that are on this case, you don't want summer found. You just want to make money, and that's why you're doing it, to make the medium so full in her head that she can't concentrate on finding summer because you want to keep it longer so you can get money. That's what I'm accusing you of. You want to accuse innocent people, I'm accusing you lot of that. So all you lot that are making videos against this medium and saying how bad she is and that, and calling her names and stuff, each one of you that you do that, you guys out there, they're doing it so they can make the medium fail, so they can keep it going because they want the money. See how's that like? See when people lie about you, how crap that makes you feel. Because I bet you it isn't true, is it? But I tell you something now. You want to put bullshit out about the medium, then I'm going to put bullshit out about you. How's that? Is that a fair deal? Leave her alone. Get on with your stuff. Guys, all my subscribers, my friends, stay safe. Okay? Love your family. Respect everyone's point of view in that. Don't attack anybody. There's no need for it. You can be an asshole and be as nice as pie, just like me. You can be a pain in the ass and be cute and nice as pie. You could say, I hate your guts, you're an asshole. See? But you still be nice about it. Okay, guys. See you in a while, crocodile.